I'm in a Range Rover.
So I forgot the DSLR at home, which means the original intro clip to this video is going to sound bad and look bad, so I'll keep it quick. This time, we're switching cars. So, there's your GTR key. I'll hand you a key that's falling apart because Land Rover don't know how to build a key, so be careful with that.
It's a Range Rover.
So Nick gets the Range Rover, and I... Nevertheless, we're actually going to be redoing the first race we ever did, which is racing to a boat dock in another county. And I have to take Igor on back roads, and Nick, you're taking my precious baby on highways. Please be careful. And I know you've had 7 Series and the 4 Series and everything before, but this is my pride and joy.
This is my beater.
Let's go before I decide not to do this.
Okay. Alright, so I gotta adjust the mirror here. Sorry about that, Patrick. Just adjust it a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna go. I think typically Patrick's seating position is fine for me. Patrick is setting up the GoPro still on the Infinity. I'm sure it's much more luxurious than this car. I'm sure of it.
I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time, I'm not scared before these races. Today I am.
Okay, I think we're ready. I'm ready. All right, start the Range Rover. The Range Rover. The steering wheel moves down into position to just perfectly sit above your lap. It's amazing, this car.
I'm terrified.
Okay, how do I turn this down some? Auto, no, I don't want. Okay, somehow music. Okay, there we go, and turn that down to right there so it's not deafening. Oh, but I could turn my seat chiller on, just one my seat chiller. Okay, wow, this is incredible, this car.
Okay. I'm gonna go. This is anticlimactic, but I am genuinely scared.
Patrick is leading the way, and into gear the Range Rover goes. As we just waft our way down the road. God, this thing's amazing. Like, and like the freaking locking on it sound like gunshots. It's absolutely crazy. But I love how much Patrick loves this car. You know, this really is his baby. You know, he's dreamed about having this specific car since he was 14. I mean, forever. And so, you know, today I'm not going to be focusing on going fast or anything like that. You know, he's going to be able to do that in the Infinity if he'd like. But what I'm going to be focusing on doing is just enjoying my experience in driving what is this incredible Range Rover.
Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. Oh, there she goes. I just gotta go, or I'm gonna cry. So the Infinity, this is my first time really driving at any extended period of time. It's not pleasant. I'd be lying if I said it was.
There's a guy turning in here, and if he would go ahead, I need you to go. I need you to go. I need you to go. Thank you. And now we can go in the Range Rover. Ooh, this has, so it's been a minute since I've driven a gas pedal that is not mounted down from the top like a typical brake pedal is. In the luxury cars, you know, like the Range Rover, the gas pedal is actually mounted in such a way that it sticks up like this, and then you push it down with the axis at the bottom instead of at the top. It's very interesting. Not used to that.
Nick is still sitting back there, which at least means he's taking care of it while I can see it. Something beeped at me. My heart is racing. Like, I am such a control freak, and I'm fine with admitting that. I am such a control freak that I don't feel good.
Alrighty. Oh my god, I can see the reflection in the back of the car in front of me. And I feel so badass. I am the king of everything. Screw all of my peasants. Screw all of my peasants. Just on a leisurely drive in my Range Rover. Yes.
My stomach hurts. And I just had tacos. So it's not going well. So, the Infiniti. Let's talk the Nissan. It's got some features the Range Rover doesn't have. In fact, it has keyless entry, which I mean that by today's standard, not 2003 standard. I feel like a lot of people, when you say keyless entry, they think you mean you don't have to put the key in. No, it's 2018. That means you don't have to take the key out at all to get in the car. And in the Range Rover, you have to hit the unlock button, at least in mine. I know there are higher end trim levels in Europe that don't. We didn't have that. But the Infiniti from 2006 with 200,000 miles on it does. And I've already gone the wrong way because I'm so nervous. My body hurts. I'm shaking. And I've gone the wrong way because I wasn't thinking. I was supposed to take a road back there. And I didn't think about it. So I have to take a detour. And there's a man walking right through the middle of the road. Just giving no
I even love the turn signal in this car. Just to listen to it. It's like they've went and found the perfect type of wood to then go and like hit it with a mallet to get the perfect tick sound for the. I mean, what even is this car? Like the black piano wood on the steering wheel and the Oxford leather, and it's all incredible. You know, I never get to drive this car. Not that Patrick doesn't let me drive it. We just don't drive it a lot. You know, I mean, like, it's very interesting. We drove like 56,000 miles in the 4 Series, and in that mileage, Patrick probably put up a good 12,000 miles on that car. But with this car, I've not driven it much at all. This might be, you know, I might have driven this car less than 10 times, to be honest. And it's quite nice, very bougie, and I absolutely love it. Like, I really do. Like, this is just such a luxury experience. Nothing around you bothers you. It doesn't matter. The outside world is impervious to you and your Range Rover, and it's just incredible. Like, it is absolutely incredible. Is this gonna be me gushing about this car the entire time in this, like, weird, fake, stupid British accent? Probably. But I don't know. Like, guys, this is just, if you've never experienced the inside of a Range Rover, it really does, like, blow your mind with the luxury. Like, one time I was intoxicated. Patrick was driving me home. He was not intoxicated. And I complimented, I was just in the passenger seat, complimenting him on how nice this car is. The seats fit you perfectly. The cooled seats, they're nice. They keep your back a little bit chilly, but not too chilly, just a little bit chilly. And then the heated seats are nice and warm, and there's a heated steering wheel. It is absolutely incredible. Like, if there's any SUV that I would buy, it would honestly be a Range Rover. And I'm not an SUV fan. I'm really not. I would much prefer to have a big luxury sedan if I'm going to have a big car, like a 7 Series or a, you know, Rolls Royce or something like that. But the Range Rover is the pinnacle of SUVs. And if I was going to buy an SUV, it would be a Range Rover.
I've gone the wrong way. I'm not going to be too entertaining on this one, guys. Yeah. So let's talk about my thoughts on the Infiniti G35X from 2006 with 196,600 miles on it. It's awful. And I don't mean that to be mean. I mean, objectively, it's bad. It's not aged well. There's rattles coming from everywhere. It's a lot like the Range Rover. It's more pleasant to drive on back roads than the Range Rover. Let's see, nice things I can say about the Infiniti. It's loud. It doesn't really go anywhere when you put your foot down, but it gets there one day. All of the leather and everything is buckling and coming up, or torn. So that's what 200,000 miles has done to it. The steering wheel has been picked at by someone with very long fingernails, and because of that, it's coming off. That's good. The woods are fake. Sorry. The mirrors are the size of pencils, and I'm not kidding. I know Nick has said this before, but they really are garbage. And Nick has them set in such a way, and he's done this in every car, where he likes to see it a certain way, and I like to see it a certain way. Well, I don't with Nick's because it's Nick's car, so I'm not going to screw with that. But because of that, I can't see a thing.
I feel like I am the captain of, like, the Titanic in this thing. I guess the Titanic sinks. That's not a good analogy. Just the captain of a cruise ship, just cruising down the road. There might be a party happening in the back, but I don't know because I am driving a Range Rover. I don't care what's going on around me. Doesn't matter. I'm in a Range Rover. It's like, it's okay, I've got a Jag. I think everyone's heard that. No, it's okay, you've got a Range Rover. It's quite incredible, it is. All right, we are on the highway. We are cruising and getting things going. Now, this is where we're really going to make up most of our time. So, originally, Patrick won this race, but I think he's going to take a bit of a shorter route than what I took originally, and so it'll be really interesting. He may win, he may lose. He'll have to deal with a lot more red lights than me, though, because he's going to have to eventually hit Buffalo Trail, which has been featured many a times in these races, and I'm curious as to whether or not he'll win, lose, but at this point, he's got a big lead on me.
So yeah, I can't see a thing. The windshield's cracked, and it does put a huge line of sight in my vision. It might not for Nick. He's a tiny bit shorter than me, but for me, it is a straight line crack straight through my right eye, and it's annoying. It handles well. The traction control system is so aggressive that I think that's part of the reason it doesn't go anywhere. It thinks there's no traction ever, even when the roads are perfectly fine and there is traction on brand new tires. So there's no traction, and because of that, the traction control completely limits the way you drive. I mean, like, it limits the engine so much. I've never seen a traction control system be so limiting. Like right there, the traction control kicked in. It's still saying slip. I'm not even accelerating that quickly, but for some reason, it's just constantly saying slip. So I don't know.
How's the sound system on our Range Rover? I approve. Sound system of the Range Rover's top notch. I also approve of these mirrors. Coming from the Infiniti that has mirrors the size of a baby's hand. I mean, it's a very, very tiny mirror, to the Range Rover, which has mirrors the size of dinner plates. It's quite incredible, and I like the mirrors of the Range Rover more. I really feel like I can look out my right mirror over here, and I can see Mars. Mars in space. It's like a telescope. It's so large. And in the Infiniti, you can't even see the car right next to you. So, people are idiots, you know? And this guy just whipping it around me. I'm in a Range Rover. Respect me, I'm in a Range Rover.
So I have to kind of make up time because I lost so much. We're now 8 minutes in. Nick's probably pretty far out. I'm not. I mean, we are only like 2 miles away from where we started. It just keeps saying slip. I don't know why. And on top of that, who at Infiniti thought this car needed so many, like, I know you can't see, but like so many storage pockets? It's like, you can tell that this car was designed with its buyer in mind. Because honestly, I feel like it's a car for someone who would want storage everywhere. And it has it. And honestly, the seats are very plush. They're not comfortable, but they're plush. They're very large seats. feels like they're cardboard underneath. It's just not too comfortable. The seat controls are strange. In fact, they make no sense. There's window switches in the seat that move the seat. But it has keyless go, and that's impressive.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and merge on over here on our Range Rover. Yeah. I love it. I love driving this car. This is an experience. Driving the Range Rover is an experience that I would compare to driving my 7 Series. My 7 Series made me feel the same way that stepping into the Range Rover, turning it on, and just driving down the road gives you don't care. I don't care if I win this race. I don't care if I lose this race. I have driven a Range Rover to get there, right? If I lose, that's fine. I lost in a Range Rover. If you win, it's even better, because I won in a Range Rover. I don't know, it's just interesting, you know? You don't really think about it, but as long as you get there in a Range Rover, does it really matter at all? I mean, you're in a Range Rover. I think Patrick's won every race because of that.
For 2006, I have to say, it is really impressive. And I believe this was one of the last model years they had of this car. I don't think it was exactly the last, but I think they replaced it soon after this, which is good. It's hot. The air conditioning isn't easy to control. It's either on or off. Yeah. How's the radio? Not bad.
And, you know, I know people don't like me comparing, and Patrick specifically, comparing something like the Range Rover to a 7 Series or something, but they are very similar. I mean, this is the pinnacle of luxury sedan, or luxury SUVs, and the 7 Series is the pinnacle of luxury sedans outside of, like, Rolls-Royce or Bentley, which we've never experienced. And so, eventually, we'll be most likely comparing your Range Rover to a Rolls-Royce and a Bentley, because once we drive those and experience those and own those cars, we'll be able to say that. But right now, we've owned a 7 Series and we've owned a Range Rover, and they're similar. They're very luxurious, very posh, and when you pull up in one, it doesn't matter because people assume you own the building. You park in the handicap spot, it doesn't matter because you're in a Range Rover. It doesn't matter because you're in a 7 Series and everyone assumes you own the handicap spot. As a matter of fact, when I had the 7 Series, we worked in an office, and it was over a gym, and basically there was too many handicap spots. There was like 3 handicap spots, and right out front there was one that wasn't a handicap spot, a spot right here, and then right next to it there was a handicap spot. I totally parked in that handicap spot with the 7 Series.
One of the things I do like, for just being objective, you know, in the last video, I was talking to Nick about why he doesn't necessarily like this car. And I felt like he was being a bit harsh. I felt like what he was saying about the car was a bit mean and not necessarily too true, and that he was just being really hard on it. And he wasn't. At all. It's not pleasant to drive. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, just objectively, it's not fun to drive. It's really not.
Looking back, not my best of decisions, and eventually I stopped because I did kind of feel bad about it, but it's alright, because I had a 7 Series, and nothing mattered. And that's the same thing with this. It's okay, I'll go for Range Rover. I've actually feel like we're making good time now. We're on Highway 25. I've been going the speed limit, so I'm just gonna slow down a little bit, get in the slow lane. I don't want to win this thing by too much. I've won already. I'm in a Range Rover. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm in a Range Rover. Who cares? I'm in a Range Rover.
It can shift a little funny at times. So does the Range Rover. I don't know. I don't want this entire video to be me complaining about the Infiniti, but it's the only thing taking my mind off the fact right now that my baby, my pride and joy, is not in my control at the moment. You can ask any of my former lovers. I'm a control freak. Former lovers, what, like all 2? proof right there that when the traction control doesn't kick in, it is actually kind of quick.
God, it's so nice. Like, the wood, like, the wooden steering wheels are something that so many people, I don't think, talk about. And the wooden steering wheel of this car is just perfect. It's nice and smooth and luxurious. And the leather, same thing for the leather. And then it's the leather all over the car. Like this Oxford leather that's just draping this entire car. From the dash to the steering wheel to parts of the doors to the center console and the seats and everything. It's just so luxurious and so incredible. Even the stitching on the dash is just perfect. Not a single misaligned or out of place stitch. You know, a lot of people give these cars crap, right? And I really don't get it, because if you take this and you look at all of the little details that this car has, why would you buy a Lexus or anything else? Because sure, you have to upkeep it, but you have to upkeep any car. And this one may be more expensive, but it's worth it, because you're in a Range Rover with this beautifully, perfectly crafted, hand-stitched leather. It might not be hand-stitched, I don't know, but it's beautiful. I do know that.
The controls on the steering wheel feel Nissan-like. See, the problem is, I say cars the way most Americans say cars. But that pisses a lot of my European viewers off a lot. And a large number of my viewers are from the UK. And I love that, because I love British cars. I love British culture. I love your accents. I love your style. I think it's great. But I get corrected an overwhelming amount on stuff I say, because I say it like people here say it. So whatever. So, Mr. Big Truck, he's going to go. And we're going to let him go, because I'm not in the Range Rover, and people don't care. That's not to say that the Range Rover gets you away with things, but it is more to say that driving the Range Rover does... people get out of the way most of the time.
Ah, this is amazing. Patrick, do you just want to switch cars for every challenge? If you do, I mean, hurt me. I mean, like, I'm down. Like, I would love to just drive this in every challenge. You know? Just dinner plate size mirrors. Headrests that block all of your view out of this mirror. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. No. Typically, I would listen to this, but I need something more luxurious. Let's see if Patrick has any classical opera or anything.
Overall, though, one thing I will say is Nick said he doesn't like the feeling he gets when he drives this car. And I don't know why. It's not, like, great to drive, and it's not something you necessarily, like, would go mall prowling with and show off with. But compared to what we're used to driving, it's a very humbling experience. And I know it's an Infiniti. How is that humbling? And it's not. Like, for the most part, driving an Infiniti is not a humbling experience. It's not meant to be that way. It is a luxury designed car. So I'm not too sure what he's on about. I enjoy it because I feel like no one's looking at me. And in the Range Rover, I'm always afraid that there is some jealous out there looking at me. And not that, like, I know what the Range Rover is. It's a 8-year-old, 7-year-old car that I paid $23,980 for. So, like, to me, it's just my car. And that's the only way I know to put it. It's just my car. But I feel like other people have this false perception that I paid like $110,000 for it, like a new one, and I just didn't. And it's a little annoying to deal with sometimes. When we were in real estate, people would tell me all the time, I don't know how you afford that car. I don't know how you bought that car. And it's like, well, first of all, it's none of your business. Second of all, it's really not that expensive. I paid less for my SUV than you paid for your Yukon Denali. specifically remember that happened to me once, and I was like, fuck off.
I understand that wasn't classical music, but it does convey the feeling of this car. I don't know, it feels posh, and because it feels so posh, you don't want to listen to any pop songs or anything like that. No, you just want to drive your Range Rover and just experience the world. And just, I don't know, it's just great. I just really do love this car. Like, and the fact that if I wanted to, I could flick a switch and take it up a mountain is just incredible to me as well. I mean, the fact that one flick of a switch and we're going up a mountain is just, it's mind-boggling, really. I mean, to think that easily you can, in fact, climb a mountain in the Range Rover.
I was making great timing until this lovely man in an F-150 pulled out in front of me. Do you guys like trucks? Let me know in the comments, like, do you like trucks? Big American pickup trucks. I don't. I really don't.
Also, by the amount of cars passing me, you can tell that I am, in fact, very much so going the speed limit on a highway where nobody goes the speed limit. They don't appreciate it, but I appreciate this because this way I get more time in the Range Rover. That's all that matters. Just more time in the Range Rover. Who wouldn't want more time in the Range Rover, really? Like, if we're just being honest. I mean, if you were driving the Range Rover, you'd want more time in the Range Rover. So do I. Oh, hey, Patrick, that dealership that we used to, like, almost did their website for, they look like they went out of business. It was interesting. Patrick and I, for a while there, did web design. Almost did it in high school. And then we did it for a little while after. And then we realized, you know, we're not good at this stuff. We just need to focus on making videos. So we feel that's been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
I'm excited for the new Defender. Like I said in the last video, the new Defender might be the first new Land Rover I buy because it's such an icon. Such an icon. And I love that. We're actually making better timing than I thought, which is good because I thought we would be doing horribly wrong. Like, we went the wrong way, things weren't going well. And honestly, I don't care if I win or lose. I just want my car back. So that's really what I'm looking for here. So we were coming up. This is where Nick was stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic for the first time in the 4 Series. I almost said the 7 Series, but the 4 Series. He was stuck in pretty much bumper-to-bumper traffic right here. We are about to merge on to 25 East, which is, I think it's east. It's 25E, northbound. What? I don't understand this road. How is east and north? Anyway.
At this point, I'm already passing the bridge. I feel like I went very, very fast here. This is where Patrick would actually be coming up if he was going to finish at the same time as me. I don't see the Infinity down there, which is interesting because I didn't realize Patrick could see all that. He could see me from a mile away. Right? A mile away. Because this car is so high and it's so posh. God, I love it. I think we've won. I think the Range Rover has in fact been declared the victor. Alrighty. This thing has a rear view camera, guys. Did you know that? That's crazy. I was thinking about like backing it in, like where I'm going to put it and everything. Get it set up really nice. That way when he pulls in, he just is pleased to see the Range Rover there. He probably will be, to see that it got there in one piece. But, yeah.
We're merging onto the highway here in a moment. We're getting onto the on-ramp. This is the biggest on-ramp I've ever seen. So I'm expecting to see my big, lovely Range Rover just driving right by, which would do many things for me. It would probably fulfill all of my desires. Then I'd see Nick at the wheel and never mind.
Alrighty. Look at that. Apparently there's no 18-wheelers allowed in this area. It's good to know, I guess. The lights went down a bit. Look at me winning in the Range Rover. Oh, we're taking it for a bit of off-road. A bit of off-road in the Range Rover. Alright, right here looks good. If we just back it up right here. Boom. And then we just put it into reverse. Where's the reverse gear? There we go. And it has a nice camera for me. So I can just use this camera and the 4-wheel drive system to back it up perfectly here and get it just right ready. That way when he pulls in, the Range Rover is good to go. All right, I finished in 18 minutes and 52 seconds. With the route that Patrick took, he should be here pretty soon, I would think. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'll set the camera up outside, I guess, so we can, in fact, see Patrick come in.
Okay, so I need over, but I don't just need over. I need over all the way. And I'm not going to be able to get over all the way because this jackass in the truck, and I need over. Guys, I need over. Fuck you. Fuck you. What? He's there. Seriously don't know how that happened. I thought I made great timing. Give me my car back. I actually didn't mean to do that.
I've actually only been here 2 minutes. So.
Oh, not bad.
How'd you enjoy it?
No. No. Like, I don't get what you're on about with the whole, it doesn't feel good to drive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like being seen in it. I think you've gone on with that before.
I don't like being seen in this car.
I didn't mind it, because I felt like no one was looking at me.
Well, that's true. I guess that's true.
Like, I felt like nobody glanced. Which is, it was nice. It was a nice change. I get what you mean by how if you had this as a second car, it would actually be really nice.
Yeah. I drove around, and you guys know this, and talked like a posh British asshole the entire time. Not saying that British people are assholes. I'm saying I was an asshole trying to speak like a British person. That's what I was saying. But it was very funny. I just gushed on your car the entire time. It's a love fest.
Isn't it? It's like an orgy in a car.
It is.
Speaking of which, we're going to be sleeping in separate cars very soon. That's actually next week's challenge. I meant to talk about that, but the entire time I was just scared. So, we're actually going to be doing a challenge where we sleep in our cars overnight, which I'm really excited for. I've been trying to get Nick to do this for months now.
My back hurts already.
Mine too.
Different reasons.
All right. Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next challenge. By the way, normally I try not to ask for subscribers anymore, but we are getting so close to 1,000, and I think we can do it. So let's try to get it to 1,000. So maybe share the video with a friend. I feel like a scumbag asking you to do that, but it'd be great if we could do that. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.